Hey friends, I'm Jennifer, and this is the Real Knitting Podcast. So I'm gonna do an introduction in a little while, but let's get started with what you're here for, which is knitting. So we'll start with what I've got on the needles right now. Oh, real quick, I'm not wearing any knits because it's 65 degrees out here. This is my backyard. I'm in Upper East Tennessee. So the things that I have on the needles right now, this is a little hat that I'm designing. This yarn is gorgeous. See if you can see that real good. It's showing up pretty good. It's a beautiful green with little specks of black and cream and tan. And this was dyed by the lady at the Bede Sisters podcast. I think she has a YouTube channel now, but she originally had just an audio podcast. It's a simple 2x2 rib, nothing to get excited about, just a little hat. Or at least I think it's a hat. You know how design goes. We'll see. This is the Portage, and I'm working Portage sweater in Holstgarn Super Soft. I got a cone for it one year, so they had a sale. If you kind of watch, Holstgarn had a sale a couple of years ago for a great big cone, and it was like $50, maybe including shipping from the Netherlands, maybe. So I wound it into little cakes. Here's the beautiful yarn, this gorgeous gray color, and I'm holding two at a time. I've got it in my little Knit Picks bowl inside of an eco bag that my mom picked up for me. Let's see. Let me see it. Yarn is part of a high fiber diet. She actually got me two of these. I don't know why it's funny. But anyway, so this is the Portage sweater. I'm not very far into it. This is like the upper back. I've actually knitted a Portage before, but I did it without doing the texture in the back because the texture kind of requires a little bit of thought, and at the time I just didn't have the brain power. But I'm going to pull it up close here and let you see that gorgeous texture. Yep. And then there's just the stockinette section of the shoulder and the front. You can see I've just sort of begun, and this texture is super simple, but you do kind of have to pay attention. I'm a mom of two little boys, and so the time that I can pay attention to a lot of knitting is kind of sporadic. I've got it here on my, what are these? The Knit Picks interchangeables in the, I think they're a rainbow color. Where's the camera? There we go. Now you can kind of see the colors. And they're a pretty good needle. I have a brand new needle set though, and I'm gonna do a review on that here in just a little bit. But that's the first thing I have is the beautiful Portage sweater. I will be working on this for a long time because even though it's a simple texture, it requires my brain, and I don't really have a lot of brain most of the time with two little ones. So there's that one. Then the other thing that I have on the needles right now, so back up. This is one of my designs. This one is called the Cumberland Mountain cowl. I'll put it on for you. Don't mind my tails, I haven't woven them all in. Cumberland Mountain cowl, and if you can kind of see, this is, no, I've got it on upside down. Oh, there we go. So this is to mimic the bridge at Cumberland Mountain State Park in Crossville, Tennessee. If you've never been to Cumberland Mountain State Park, it is a beautiful space designed by the the Conservation Corps and built to help give guys jobs back in the Great Depression. I've got a blog about it on my website, but you can also just search about the Cumberland Mountain State Park and the homesteads there. My grandparents lived in the area, and they had a couple of homestead houses, one of them at least for rent. And we actually had a family reunion the other day, a few months ago. The grandparents are gone, but the family got together. We got to go to Cumberland Mountain State Park and stay. And then I dropped by the cutest little yarn shop there. It's called the Yarn Patch. I love this. It is the sweetest place. Heather is the lady's name that owns it, and it's downtown, and it's super cute. And I picked up the yarn for this because I was inspired by the bridge. So you see the bridge, and then this is the reflection of the bridge down into the water. So there's the cowl, and then there's a lot of texture up here. You can kind of see that in the light, and that is to represent the weeds or the grasses on the side of the pond there, the little lake there. But this yarn is Haiku Simply Worsted, and I've got some more of it here. This one is the color, I believe they call it Nile. Yeah, there it is, Nile Blue. It's color 27. And what's funny about this goes into what I have on the needle. What's funny about this yarn, so I made this, I got with Heather, we did a giveaway. I'm going to send her, as soon as this podcast is over, I swear, Heather, I'm putting this in the mail, and it's coming to you at the Yarn Patch, so you can hang it up and maybe sell a few more skeins of the Haiku. I got this yarn because it's super squishy, and the color is stunning. I don't know how well it's showing up on the camera, but it's just this most gorgeous teal, I guess, and it's really affordable. Anyway, so it comes in these 50-gram skeins. It is merino, superwash, acrylic, and nylon. So this makes really easy accessories that you can just throw in the wash or whatever you need to do to them. I usually take a little closer care of my stuff, but I love superwash. So I made the Cumberland Mountain cowl, and I sent it to Heather, and somehow somebody from Haiku saw about it. I guess Heather, thank you, showed it to them, and they contacted me, and they wanted to send me some more for a design. So they sent me 8 skeins of this. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. But okay, so back to what's funny. What's funny about this is that I somehow unknowingly chose the exact same color. I think that's the trash truck coming by. I chose the same color. I was like, oh, that color is beautiful. Why don't I play with that one? And it got here, and I was like, oh, it's the same. But I kind of have a color palette, and it's like these colors, like these colors, and gray and black, and that's pretty much my wardrobe. So it didn't really surprise me that I chose the same colors, but anyway. So they sent me 8 skeins of this for a future design, and kind of gave me some space. I'm looking for places to set that down. Kind of gave me some space and some openness as to like what I wanted to design. So what has been absolutely drilling a hole through my brain these days is a sweater vest. Sweater vests are coming back, and the thing that I like about sweater vests is like you can throw it over a shirt, you can throw it over a tank, you can just wear it. Some of them you can just wear by themselves, and they're quick, easy knits. I really love to be done with something fairly quickly. So I got kind of obsessed also with this texture. Now I think this is called like wings or something, but it's this texture right. Yeah, look at that. So that is going to be the whole body of the sweater, and I'm kind of in a stuck spot, and I don't mind sharing this with you because designing is hard, y'all. I'm kind of at a stuck spot. So I was going along just happy as I could be, and here's the front of the sweater, and it's kind of in a little bit because I'm going to have ribbing here, and it's going to be a V-neck here, right? So I get this much done, and I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous. It's almost time to join for the V. But let me tell you, I have done the other half of this neck maybe 5 times, maybe more, and I keep ripping it out. Designing is hard, y'all. Because what I want is the shoulders to come together and make that pretty little diamond pattern right there. And so I've tried it several different ways. I think I have it figured out now. So maybe by the next podcast, you'll be able to see a second shoulder on this vest. All of my designs are, there's the kitty. All of my designs are inspired by the Appalachian Mountains and the people around here. So mostly, so when you start designing, you just get excited about it, and so most of what I have on the needles is my own designs, but I do have a couple of other things to show you. So one of my other most recent whips is this right here. So if you do not follow Cozy Up Knits on YouTube, you must go find these girls. It's 4 sisters. They're in Alberta, Canada, and I just love them. They are chatty and fun, and they're just a blast. It kind of reminds me of when my sister and I get together. But they ran a knit along, and I actually won the prize from their knit along. I was so excited. I got one of the bags. Their mom makes bags on, I think she sells them on Etsy. A JoJo bag is what she calls it. And I got 2 skeins of ginger snap yarn. So I have the names of these. Okay, maybe not. This is ginger snap. This is her fingering weight yarn. And let's see. Yeah, there's good color. And this one is called Roller Disco. And then this beauty, this one is actually a lace weight with mohair in it. I don't know if you can see the halo off of that, but it is the most super softest, beautiful stuff. And that one is called Enjoy. And it's crazy soft. So this is my first shawl pattern that I've designed myself. It is called the Lindola shawl. And I know that's going to be weird for people to pronounce, but that's my mother-in-law's name. Lindola, Lindola. And there's the Lindola shawl. Let's see if I can get it all in there. It's designed to be mostly mindless. So I've recently started knitting with some new friends in town at our local yarn shop called Yarntiques. And I want to be able to be part of the community, especially since I'm new. I don't want to just take my complicated vest and just work on that. So I wanted something simple that I could work on. And of course, Ginger Snap's yarns are stunning. So it's really basic. There's garter, there's stockinette, there's a teeny bit of lace, but what sets it off is this ruffle. So as you can see, I'll put it on. It's an asymmetrical crescent shawl shape. And when you wear it, and this is so my mother-in-law, these colors are absolutely her. When you wear it, you get this beautiful ruffle effect. Yeah. There it is. This beautiful ruffle effect, and it is so soft. But that's the Lindola shawl by Mountain Legacy Designs. And then also, I got kind of hot because it's 65 degrees out here. But I started off, when I came out here, I started off wearing this one. Speaking of the Cozy Up Knits girls, I started off wearing my Katie shawl. There's my lovely Katie shawl. You can see the little eyeball stitches in there. Those were interesting, but once I learned them, then I love them. And this is 2 colors of Miss Babs. This one is Bat Stuff Crazy. And this one is a one of a kind ruby kind of red. So let's see if we can get, there we go. Stunning colors, Miss Babs. She's actually fairly local to me. I hear she is out of Mountain City, Tennessee. Although I've never been up there, I've never met her. But beautiful, beautiful colors. So let's talk about a couple of other things. I've got a couple of different interchangeable needle sets. So I started off, and you've seen these. I'm just gonna flash them, but this is the Knit Picks interchangeable set, the wooden ones. There's the rainbow, and then I also have the short tips in the square. I know this one's called Majestic. I do remember that. And I've got all kinds of cords and all the little accessories that go with that. And I've been knitting on this since I first started knitting. It was a gift when I really decided that I loved knitting. This is what I wanted. And these are great. These are so affordable. I have actually had trouble with the smallest ones. Apparently I'm like a rage knitter or something, because I have actually snapped some of the smallest needle tips. But Knit Picks has been great and sent me replacements. So I've been happy with these, but I've always wanted to sort of upgrade. Well, back to my little LYS Yarn Teaks. I upgraded. Oh, this is the Lykke. They say Lykke. I don't know. I've heard it pronounced different ways, but there's the name brand. I'm not affiliated with any of these people. Check it out, y'all. Copper. This is their Cypra set. I'm madly in love with them, and I did a whole review on them on my blog post, which I will link down below. But that's the new copper set. I'll just pull one out for you. It's gorgeous. That's the new copper set. And they come in this beautiful, I got the brown suede holder, which soon will be covered in dog hair and probably, I don't know, baby spit up or something. And then their cords are clear. But here's the kicker, y'all. The cord swivels. So watch this. It swivels inside of the barrel. I love these things. Okay. And then they come with stoppers, you know, the whole key system. So those are my new needles. The other thing that's new is that starting this Tuesday, I'm teaching knitting classes. I love teaching things. So we'll do a little introduction. But I love teaching things, and I cannot wait to teach this beginning knitting class. And I was like, oh, nobody's going to show up. Nobody's going to want to take it. I have a full class. I have 6 people. I'm really excited about this. 3 of them are folks I have known from yoga that are coming to learn knitting from me, which is awesome. And then 3 new people. So very excited about that. That starts next week at Yarn Teaks. And it's full, but if you're local to me, I'm hoping to teach some more. I really have a passion for gauge and understanding gauge and fit in sweaters. You'll see some of my sweaters that I'm knit in the future, but I really, once it really made sense for me how gauge worked and how to get the correct fit, it's like everything just clicked. Amazing. All right, what else are we going to talk about? Okay, little background on me. Um, like I said, I'm Jennifer. I live in Upper East Tennessee. I'm a mom of two little boys. We've adopted the older one. He's 7, and we got him from the foster care system. Coming up next week, will have adopted him 5 years ago. So we've loved him for 7 years because we got him when he was a tiny baby. But we've adopted him for 5, and then our new baby, his name is John. So we have James and John. And John is 20 months old, and we are hoping to adopt him this summer. We got him when he was 3 days old and worked with the family trying to help her get to a place where she could get him back. And since that didn't work out, we are so blessed to be adopting him. By me, I mean my husband Scott and I. I'm a yoga therapist, so I do private in-home yoga sessions. I do Thai yoga, which is like hands-on. You can look it up on YouTube, but it's basically like hands-on, all the adjustments of yoga for just an hour. It's incredible, kind of intense, but incredible. So I do Thai sessions in home. I do, and then COVID kind of screwed with us all, right? So COVID pretty much destroyed my business. I shut down, and because we had a newborn and he was so tiny, and our big boy had a lot of health issues, I just shut down and stayed home and did some different things from home. Um, and so I really miss that part of the business, but I've started getting back out there, getting back into my yoga stuff. But in the meantime, I took a part-time job at our church. So I'm the church lady, the secretary there 3 days a week. So lots of fun, lots of jobs, running in lots of directions, especially with two wild little boys. But it's a happy life. It's a good life. So that kind of leads me to now. So I started designing mostly because I couldn't not design. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody else, but it was like these ideas were just burning a hole in my head. My first design was the alpaca my cowl, and I really just designed it for my sister because I saw the yarn. I was at Michael's and I saw the yarn, and I thought those colors have to be something for Stephanie. She lived out west for a while. She loves Southwest stuff. She went to Peru when she was in college, and so I created the alpaca my cowl, which is little llamas or alpacas like lined up in a row. Yeah, I know there's a difference, but little furry babies lined up in a row on this cowl, and I had my sister model that one, and I put it up for free, and lots of people liked it, and it was great. And then I kind of went dormant on my design process for a while until the next one, which was a hat pattern. It's the Debbie toboggan. Down here we call hats toboggans. Yeah, it's kind of funny. But that's what we do. So the Debbie toboggan just was kind of burning its way into my brain. Like I had to get it on paper. And it's these intertwining cables, which is really funny because a lot of my knitting is just for relaxation, like the simple Lindola shawl. But these cables, they just needed to be a pattern. So I went ahead and wrote that pattern and got it up. And I've had a lot of help along the way from some awesome friends, and I'll try to tag some of them down below. Um, but that's who I am. So I do Mountain Legacy Designs. At this stage, I think I have 5 or 6 patterns out. The next one to come out is the Lindola shawl. It's in testing, but I think most of those ladies are really moving along on that. So hopefully it'll come out before too much longer. Um, so I have So I have this website, and one thing that's interesting to me is how domain names work and how, like, you can have different domains shift over to your website, right? So I was just sort of playing around on one of those domain name site places, and I discovered that realknitting.com wasn't taken. And this was several weeks ago, and it was just like, oh, that'd be cool. I'll put realknitting.com to send over to Mountain Legacy Designs. Y'all, I'm getting hot again. Okay. So I did that. I bought it for like, it was $13.50. So I had it go to Mountain Legacy Designs and kind of forgot about it for a little while. Well, just a few weeks after that, I hear that these two guys bought knitting.com. Now let me just say to you, please do not go there and check them out. If you really want to hear like the scuttlebutt, there's a whole Ravelry discussion group about it. It's called Lazy, I don't remember, Lazy something and God bless, I think. But it's a whole discussion group about these guys. And these two guys are e-commerce, and they bought knitting.com with the intention of turning it into a large business where they sell things on Amazon, and I'm assuming they'll do blogging or whatever. And it became this big deal, probably not even because it was two guys trying to make a business, but because they kind of insulted knitters. And so the knitting world has been kind of up in arms about that for a while. It's just been a few weeks now. I don't know if you've seen anything else about it, but I just want you to know that I don't know them, and I had bought realknitting.com just kind of on a fluke, like a couple weeks before I heard that they had bought knitting.com. So anyway, this is going to be called the Real Knitting Podcast because it is by knitters for knitters. Hopefully I'll have some of my knitting friends on here in the future. If you are interested in finding out more, I'll drop all the links down below. But I am Mountain Legacy Designs on most things. On Twitter, I have it's like Mountain L Designs or something, because it was too long of a name. So I didn't use that one. I used The Real Knitting, because those guys who don't knit and who insulted knitters actually took the handle Real Knitting on Twitter. That's kind of how I got involved in this. Some people in the group let me know that this was going on, and I was like, I have to grab something. So anyway, Real Knitting on Twitter, Mountain Legacy Designs on YouTube, mountainlegacydesigns.com. And I'd love for you to subscribe. I'm hoping to do a podcast like this quite often. I also hope to put up a few videos of other knitting content. One that I definitely want to do is of my knitting style, because I knit continental, but it's a little different because it's wicked efficient. So I want to teach that. I want to pop that up there. And just let me know in the comments. I would love to know what questions that you have about knitting, and how can I help you get started? How can I help you fall in love with knitting like I did? Anyway, have a blessed day. Happy knitting. See you later.